4, 3, 2. Hey, Johnny D back with HumpDayRadio.
I am, of course, your man, Sam Fortune.
And the one and only Bobo. What's good, fellas?
Oh, man. Everything's good.
No doubt.
Sun is out, can rub a little sunshine on our face, so it's a good day.
No doubt.
And we got us a guest in here today.
Yes, indeed.
You know, we like when we have people in here that are doing positive things, and this young man, Dhruv, we got him in here today. Dhruv, welcome to HumpDayRadio.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, excellent. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Dhruv Patak. Originally from Charlotte, went to school out in Greensboro, and now I'm back in the community. Just trying to
Gate City.
hopefully change something. Yeah, Gate City, great place, but nothing like Charlotte though.
No doubt.
I agree. I'm a transplant here from Chicago, so Queen Cities has been alright.
And I used to live in Greensboro. I moved from Greensboro to here.
That's what's up.
Yeah, no doubt. But you got something going on, something very positive that's going on. So that's why we got you here to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this coming Tuesday, August 9th at 6 p.m., we're having this rally. It's a Black Lives Matter rally, but it's really a rally to stand in solidarity with Ferguson. After, we know what happened in Ferguson. Mike Brown was killed exactly 2 years ago on August 9th. And Darren Wilson, the police officer that killed him, got off about almost exactly a year ago. It was September of 2015.
Okay.
So really this rally is to stand in solidarity with the people of Ferguson, because they led some of the longest, most powerful protests and rebellions for a very long period of time. And we haven't seen something like that until Baltimore popped off. And we want to make sure the people of Ferguson know that all over the country, people have their backs, and what they're doing is right, and what they're fighting for is a just cause.
Now, what drew you to this movement? What was it about the Ferguson situation? Because we've had situations, like you said, that are cropping up now all the time, it seems like. So what was it about that particular outrage and outcry that drew you in and said, I want to be a part of this movement?
Yeah, absolutely. Something special about Ferguson was that you could tell that people were just frustrated to a point where nothing could contain it, and that was so powerful because unfortunately the way it is in the United States, Black people live in constant occupation by police. So, and Ferguson being an 80% Black town with no Black police officers almost, it became clear that the situation that happened and the rebellions that happened in Ferguson for months at a time were an act of self-determination by a nation of people that were living in the city that had no rights, were being killed by the police, and if they weren't being killed, then there was no economic justice, there was no jobs, there was nothing left for the people, so they had to rebel. And it was powerful to see, because that has to happen if a change is going to happen in this country.
Well, what do you say to those who think that if you're going to rebel and you're going to tear up your own city, why are you doing it in your own neighborhoods? So your neighborhoods are already strife with unemployment, with lack of opportunities, and now you're going to bring it down further, burning down buildings or destroying property and the few jobs that are there, the few businesses that are there. If I would think if you're going to do that, go into a neighborhood that has plenty of that. I'm not advocating any of that by no means, but I'm saying I don't get tearing up your own. It's kind of like somebody that gets mad and want to trash your own house. I never understood that. You get mad at your girlfriend, so you just start breaking doors and windows.
Right, absolutely. But I would just ask, like, how much of the people in Ferguson actually own anything in their own communities?
That would be mine. Oh. That would be my rebuttal.
So
that would be my rebuttal.
They got CVS's, QTs, and stuff like that, but is that actually owned by the people in Ferguson? And those are the jobs, but like, are there any good jobs in Ferguson? Are there anything? So I think the question ends up being like, how come in neighborhoods and communities that are predominantly Black, how come there are only jobs like fast food, CVS, or like other low-wage type jobs, but there isn't anything else to do, like for people to actually make a little bit of money and go on with their ways? And how come police are patrolling every single day? And so though, maybe we don't have to like necessarily destroy our own neighborhoods and stuff like that, but ultimately it was people that were just frustrated with everything that's going on, and it wasn't really organized in a proper fashion. But I think what was happening was really an act of rebellion and self-determination that was very powerful, and that should be supported.
So what do you say to the people who feel like a march is not that big of a deal? It doesn't do anything. There are people who feel that way.
Yeah, there are people that feel that way, and we can keep it 100. It's simple. Like a march may not do something like immediately, but the whole point of a march like this especially is to gain support for what we're doing. We want to get people in the Charlotte community, not the same activists, not the same organizers that are involved, but the people that are struggling with poverty and police brutality on a daily, involved in the struggle, because those are the people that are going to help change every single thing about this system. And a march isn't necessarily the most effective form of protest in some ways, but it has to be done if we're going to win support from those that we need it.
I feel like in a march or any gathering for this type of situation, it needs to be said that we need the community to become the police, to become the politicians.
Yes.
The march is not going to really, to me, I am one of the people who feels like if you have a march, that's cool. You got a whole bunch of people together. But if they leave that having only felt like all we did was come together to show our solidarity, we'd have no actions beyond that. We're not looking to become the pillars in society to change these rules, to start filling out these applications for these positions. I don't know if there's any benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. The march can't just end right then and there. But yeah, you're right. Something that is so crucial is that we have to, black folks in this country have to be able to, police themselves. That's one of the key tenets that I firmly believe in. But for me, what a march is, it's an act of struggle. It's something that's going to change people's mind, it's going to be able to see that, wow, if we get together, we can do something. But also, you're completely right that it has to be something beyond that, because if we just constantly are marching, what is that exactly going to do? Right. There has to be people that are willing to, take action, as well as become a part of city council or the local power structures and stuff like
even
that.
Even PTA, something as simple as that.
Yeah.
You get people to show up for all these other kinds of events, but then you have PTA meetings, nobody's there. So everybody's concerned and can say they're concerned with child's education and all this, but they aren't sitting in on these PTA meetings with these schools to say, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so, it is important for people to get involved in that. But right now, we live in a system that teaches us that we have to do whatever it takes to survive every single day. So,
I want to go in a different direction just for a minute. What is your nationality?
I'm Indian.
Indian. Are there people of your race who have a problem with you taking up this issue?
Absolutely.
Like how are you identifying with the struggle of blacks?
Yeah, absolutely. People tell me all the time, they always thank me for being involved in the community, but I never want to be thanked because everything that I am, it's due to the black liberation struggle. If it wasn't for black people resisting since the inception of this country, I don't know if I would be in the streets to this day, because black people were the ones that built this country, from being stolen from Africa, brought here, built every single foundational thing that we know about this country, don't get any credit of it, and today are still being, locked up and killed by the police at astronomical rates. And so for me to not be in the streets or not be fighting for, black liberation would honestly be a slap in the face. So that's what I usually tell people
when they ask, is this your fight?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think the black liberation struggle is going to free us all. That, I think black people in this country face what I would call a national oppression, special oppression, that's very different than a lot of other places. Because, you know, the history of slavery in this country is so rooted in every single foundational system that exists to this day. And so unless black people are free from this system, then none of us can be free. And so that's how I kind of relate to the struggle. But ultimately, it's about humanity.
But how do the powers that be aren't just going to turn that stuff over? There's no way. They're going to kick it and scream and going to make sure everything stays divided. Because guess what? That creates the profits. That creates the ability for them to control. Because how do you control? Divide and conquer. And they have done a miraculous job. I mean, absolutely miraculous job of dividing this country, making these think they're better than those, and those better than these, and these better than this. And now, instead of us all coming together and pointing our frustrations to the real culprits, we're pointing them at each other.
Yeah.